Hey folks, it's Mary, aka MercyTriumphs, and this is my channel Slow Crochet. This is the fifth and final installment of the hashtag Not So Scary Halloween collaboration that I've been participating in all month long in October 2023. It is hard to believe that we have made it this far. This is the fifth and final video, and I hope that you guys have had as much fun as I have as we've been looking at the not so scary side of a pretty creepy holiday. I have been joined all this month by Lee of Lee Mac, Cassandra of Craftably Ever After, and Marcia of Mimi Makes Keepsakes. And at the filming of this video, I'm aware of at least 3 other YouTubers who have also used the hashtag Not So Scary Halloween. They are Crafty Clegg's Creations, Flourish Evermore, and Launceston Crocheter. So if you are interested in seeing some of the other cuter side of Halloween things that those YouTubers have come up with, their channels are linked below. It's been such a fun, creative journey for me. I've really kind of stretched outside of my comfort zone because my family doesn't do Halloween. But in this series of videos, I have been taking inspiration from literature and then from the concept of trunk-or-treating, where families can have a safer kind of trick-or-treating experience, usually in a church parking lot or on church grounds. So a little bit of dress up, a little bit of fun, and definitely not the scary side of Halloween. I have saved my personal favorite for last. And if you've been taking a close look at my sweatshirt here, maybe you already have a clue. I am taking inspiration this week from the OG of fantasy novels, J.R.R. Tolkien's classic, The Hobbit. So where do Halloween and The Hobbit coincide? Well, let me read a couple of paragraphs and hopefully it'll become clear to you. This is from chapter 6, Barrels Out of Bond. Across the bridge, the elves thrust their prisoners, but Bilbo hesitated in the rear. He did not at all like the look of the cavern mouth, and he only made up his mind not to desert his friends just in time to scuttle over at the heels of the last elves before the great gates of the king closed behind them with a clang. Inside, the passages were lit with red torchlight, and the elf guards sang as they marched along the twisting, crossing, and echoing paths. These were not like those of the goblin cities. They were smaller, less deep underground, and filled with a cleaner air. In a great hall with pillars hewn out of the living stone sat the Elven King on a chair of carven wood. On his head was a crown of berries and red leaves, for the autumn was come again. In spring he wore a crown of woodland flowers. In his hand he held a carven staff of oak. So I decided, in honor of my absolute favorite Tolkien, I would create my version of the Elven King's crown. So here it is. Maybe you can see it on my head here. I have it held together by just taking a couple of bobby pins and poking them through and attaching them into my tumble-down hair today. Here is some footage of me modeling it, as it is much easier to see from this perspective. The crown itself consists of 2 types of leaves. As I was reading The Hobbit, I was looking for the types of trees that were in Mirkwood, which is the forest where the Elven King, later we find out his name is Thranduil, nerd alert, as if you didn't know already by coming to this channel. Thranduil's realm is full of beech trees, and then in the excerpt I just read, there's also oak trees. So I was looking to see if I could find some crocheted leaves that would mimic those 2 predominant types of leaves. The oak leaf pattern I found was by In the Yarn Garden, and the more beech leaf shaped leaf is by TLH Patterns and was published in the Lazy Hobby Hopper. And I will have both of those linked below. For the little berries, I took inspiration from some images of a pattern called Hairbands Appropriating Hat Patterns by a designer called Fatima. And I will link her below as well. In order to make the little berries, I just did a magic ring and then I crocheted 10 double crochets into that ring and I tightened it up as close as I could. In order to put this whole thing together, I made a total of 4 of the beech leaves, 4 of the oak leaves, and then 10 of the little berries in different size yarns, and just using some scrap reds from my stash. The book describes Thranduil's crown as bright red, and I wanted to nod towards that in my crown. Now, it isn't a full crown. It doesn't go all the way around my head, but I kind of like that. I like that I can tuck this in and do my hair in different ways. I can keep it long, I can braid it out. I love that it gives the effect of leaves that have tumbled out of the sky and kind of caught in a remarkably symmetrical pattern in my hair. I fiddled with it for a while, trying to find an arrangement that I liked. I even tried at one point making a crown out of wire and braiding some yarn into that, but it just didn't seem right. So I was thinking about the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogies, which I have memorized, and I was remembering the kinds of headdresses that the lady elves would wear. And oftentimes they wouldn't go fully over the forehead, but they would be attached and kind of highlight the ears and cascade down the long hair. So that's the look that I went for, and I really love how it turned out. By using just a couple of bobby pins just tucked into the stems of some of the leaves, I was able to make it good and adjustable, and I can wear this as a fall festival or elves fair kind of idea, or maybe I'll even save it for Renaissance festival, who knows. What I loved about this is it's kind of a nod towards a costume, but it's definitely fall, definitely autumn, and it celebrates one of the, in my opinion, greatest authors of all time. Hey folks, Editing Mary here. I was just about to put away my copy of The Hobbit when I realized that I had tucked some photos into the front of the dress that I made and wore when I went to the midnight showing of Peter Jackson's Return of the King. Thought y'all might want to see them. There is one of them. Here is another. And in these photos, I am wearing a dress based on a simplicity pattern that I'd bought when they were putting out patterns based on some of the inspiration from the Lord of the Rings movies. So I still have the dress. It doesn't quite fit the same anymore, but I think it would be beautiful topped with that little elven crown, that red berry and red leaf crown now. So thought you might be interested in seeing those. I will let you get back to whatever regular Mary is saying now. So that is it. That is the last Not So Scary Halloween that I have for y'all. It has been such a joy. Again, massive thank you to Lee, Cassandra, and Marcia. You ladies are a treat. It's been such a joy seeing the kinds of creativity that comes out of you and how we've all interpreted this idea of a not so scary Halloween or a non-celebrating Halloween. I love seeing how your personality comes out through the things that you make, and it is beautiful to see. To everyone who has come along for this little adventure with us, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know my fellow hostesses appreciate it, and I know those that have hashtagged along with us. We appreciate all the comments, all the likes, all the encouragement, and all the fun that we've had connecting with y'all. I love sharing different patterns with you, giving you ideas, and I love hearing back from y'all the kinds of ideas that you have. This is such a beautiful community in this little square of YouTube, and it's through collaborations like the Not So Scary Halloween that we can get to see different sides of each other and really grow in our friendship. I know it's the internet. I know it's not really real. You're not sitting in the room here with me. But I know for all the YouTubers that I watch, it really does feel that way. And I certainly do appreciate that you've allowed me into your life. It is an honor, and I don't take it lightly or take it for granted. If I'm not your cup of tea, thank you so much for listening this long. I do appreciate it, and I do hope I'll see you again soon. Bye.